I've just made a few mods to the new tent. Got some bungee on and some additional tie-out points. Same again around the bottom. Really excited to try this out tonight. You'll have probably already seen that video. If you haven't, I'll pop it up here. So today is a questions and answers video. I did ask you guys on my YouTube community and on Instagram, ask me any questions, camping or not, and I'll see what I can do. I had loads and loads of questions, so I won't be able to answer them all. But I'll have a look through and see what we can come up with. First one from WJ4 Mess. How's the campervan coming along? Well, I wouldn't say it's coming along at the minute. It's been used quite a lot, but it's still got finishing touches that I just haven't got around to doing. But it is very functional, very usable. We have added an awning to it, which doesn't always go up, but it gives us that extra space if the weather's not so good, for on campsites anyway. So next time we go out in it, I'll show you around. One from the YouTube community. Have you ever been hammock camping? Is it something that you're interested in? That's from J Media. I used to do a lot of hammock camping, and if you look back on some of my older videos, I will drop one in the description below. I started off doing bushcraft, and that progressed into, well, hammock camping as well, because it's woodland camping. I must admit, I do prefer getting up in the hills and using a tent. I never have a really good night's sleep in a hammock for some reason. Not on the first night anyway, but I'm sure it's something that I will be doing again, so watch this space. So here's another one from Ian Dunsmore. When you are hiking on your own, what would you say is the ratio of having a good time to feeling a bit fed up or knackered? If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. However, when you've been hiking all day, when you get into that 15-mile plus mark, yeah, I'm ready then for settling down for the night. That's why something like the coast to coast, for me, it's not something that's screaming out that I want to do it. 2, 3, 4 days, you know, that's not too bad. But if you're doing that 10, 14 days in a row, it takes it out of you, and I do suffer with pain in my knees and my joints and things, so I don't know if I'd enjoy it if I was doing it for that length of time. So we'll see how it goes, see what 2023 brings. So reseller Daz, he asks, have you ever had food poisoning or a bad stomach from campfire cooking? Well, no, I haven't from campfire cooking, but I have from bad water. I did, on a bushcraft meet, I had a dodgy Chinese pump filter, and I used to use that to filter water. But then I also put little drops of chlorine in as well, just to finish things off. And it was a group of lads, and we all drank from this water, and if someone rushed in, we didn't use the chlorine tablets or little drops, and we all had bad guts. So yeah, down to bad water. So I won't be making that mistake again, that's for sure. So another Instagram question. Being from Sheffield, how can we support Sunderland, Paul? That's from Gary, from IPA Ales. Well done though, Mara. It's a hereditary thing. So my dad, he grew up in a place called Trimden, up in County Durham. So he used to go and watch Sunderland and Hartlepool and the local teams. And he was a big Sunderland fan, so he passed that on to me, and I've done the same to my lad, Matthew. Forced him into it, really. Should be done for child cruelty for that, really. We've had a torrid time over the years. So, yeah, that's why I'm a Sunderland fan. So, Eddie, another Instagram question. Eddie Greenslade, camped in the Peak District in your last video around Ladybower. What's the rock formation called? That camp was on a place called Backtor. So it's about 3 or 4 mile along Derwent Edge. It's a lovely spot. It's quite popular though, so you need to get in early if you want to go camping there anyway. So Tom Poe, he asks, where do you get these t-shirts from? On the website, messner.co.uk, which I actually run from Squarespace, who've kindly sponsored the video again today. So I've been using Squarespace now for quite a while. It's really easy to use. I had no experience when it came to websites. That's why I chose Squarespace, because everything's done from a template. You just upload your photos, add your own text, and then just move things around a little bit and customize it to get that look that you want. Originally, I just used it for promoting the YouTube channel, but in more recent times, it's been t-shirts and merchandise. So Squarespace does all the e-commerce stuff for you. So getting paid is really easy. You can always check and amend your stock and the analytics to see how many people have visited your page. So if you want to have a go at building a website of your own, then click the link in the description below, or head over to squarespace.com/Paul Messner. You'll get a totally free trial and 10% off your first purchase. So Simon Keller says, "Hi mate, it was cool to see you comment on Steve Wallace's live stream last night. 1 million subs is a fantastic feat. So perhaps a related question, what do you think it'll take to get to 150,000 up to 1 million? Basically, what's the plan?" Well, I've been watching Steve for a really long time. And what I like about him is he's just a genuine, normal bloke. Nothing pretentious about him at all. Uses some of the most basic gear going. And he's really likeable. And there's no wonder he's got that many subscribers. However, yeah, I haven't thought about getting anywhere near that, to be honest with you. I just keep plodding along, and every now and again I have a check, and it's grown a bit. It only seems like yesterday I was getting my silver play button for 100,000. There's another 50,000 popped along from somewhere, so I must be doing something right. But yeah, just keep putting the videos out there, and just being me, and yeah, hopefully it goes from strength to strength. One from Instagram, Cornelio in Pictures, is encouraging more people to take up camping causing a problem with litter? I'm going to say no. For the most part, from what I see, when you go to your national parks and places like that, it's a clean place. People are responsible for the most part. They take the rubbish away with them. There are one or two that I don't know whether that is just lack of education, whether they're just knobheads. I don't know. They'll leave litter. They'll carry cans of beer and barbecues up, and then they'll just leave all the remains there. But I don't think that they are like wild campers as such. They are just people that just want to go for a one-off. They'll buy the cheap £15 tent from Aldi or whatever it is, Tesco. They don't mind dumping it and leaving it. Most people that want to do it properly and do it for the right reasons are leaving no trace. And that's all I can do, promote leave no trace and leave it as you found it. So Alistair 414, solo camping or camping with a mate, including Captain Beavers. I'm going to have to say, much more recently, I do prefer going with somebody else. I like the banter, the crack, the conversation. I've been with some interesting people lately, not just Andy Beavers, although some of the shit that he knows, I don't know where he gets his. It's like an encyclopedia, especially of the Peak District. He can tell me even what every star is just about, so he knows his stuff, does our Andy. But yeah, I do enjoy the company now, because I don't have that for the main job. There's obviously I've got Joe all the time, but I haven't got the workplace banter as such, and camping's my workplace now, so I think that's my work banter, shall we say. So Eric H, sleeping bags, synthetic versus down. I read somewhere that the new synthetics are almost as good as down, so I'm a bit confused of what to buy. That's a tough one, I suppose. Pound for pound, down is still the best when it comes to insulating properties. So for the weight and how it compacts down, you're not going to beat that. But it does have its weaknesses. If you get it wet, it doesn't insulate very well. It's not always thought of as being ethical to use down. I think there are some unscrupulous places where they actually pluck the down from live animals, which is not something that you want to have going off. Synthetic now is getting much and much better, so maybe in a few years it will be as good as down insulation, but as it stands now, it's bulkier, it doesn't pack down as well, and it's a bit heavier. However, you can be just as warm in synthetic as you can in a down bag. It just means you're going to have a heavier or bulkier bag. And one of the great things about synthetic is it holds, you know, most of its insulating value even when it gets wet. So for multi-day trips, or for when you're here in the UK and it's normally raining and cold, not like today, yeah, you can still keep warm, whereas if your down bag is totally wet, in most cases you're screwed. So different things for different situations. Synthetic's normally cheaper, although the newer technologies are still quite expensive. Hope that helps a little bit. So Elucio says, when are you going camping next? I'm going tonight, but you might have already seen that video because that'll go out before this one, I think. I'm heading up to the Peak District to put this through its paces. That's a funny one. Weekend Walkers has just said, get your hands on the Dan Durston X-Mid and give us your honest opinion. I'm sure you'll be hearing about it in the coming months. Thibaud Kellerhalls, I'm butchering these names here. Hi, how are you? I'm all right, thanks, mate. Getting there. Much happier in life at the moment, and I'll be even happier on Saturday. Getting married. So really excited about that. Big thanks to everybody for all your kind words, support, all those people that's bought us a drink. Yeah, we're blown away. I'm sure we'll be sharing snippets of the day with you, so look out for that. So another YouTube question, offline and outdoors. First of all, I want to say we love your videos. You've been a big inspiration for us on our wild camping and YouTube journey. Thanks for that, mate. Question is, if you could go wild camping with 3 people, dead or alive, who would you go with? I don't want to go camping with any dead people. I think that would be pretty creepy. I'd like to go camping with Ray Mears on a bushcrafty kind of yeah, camping experience. I'd like to see him, you know, cook me some of these. I'd like to see him cook me a bit of deer or something like that. And he's incredibly knowledgeable, and I reckon I could listen to him talk for hours. I'd have to take our Joanne with us as well. I like when she comes out with me. It's there's always some sort of banter going off. So Oscar has asked, how did you end up getting into hiking and camping? He's a teenager and he's been hiking with his dad in the Lake Districts as long as he can remember. Oh, that's great. Good to see you getting out and about, mate. So I haven't always been into it. It's been one of those things in the last 10 years, really. I was a big football fan. Used to be kicking a ball, chasing it around the field till I was about 40. And like I said, I got into the bushcraft stuff first, and that led me to YouTube just to get knowledge, really. And then there's some people or channels that I was watching. Things crossed over from the bushcraft to the hiking and wild camping in the hills. Dean Reed especially, and he did a lot of his camping in the Peak District, which was really close for me. So I went out, had a look round, fell in love with it, and the rest is history, really. I'm so glad that I'm doing it. I just wish I'd done it a little bit sooner. So Dylan J. Fleming, he asked, what is your why? What does wild camping do for you that nothing else can? It's deep, that question, mate. I've always loved that sense of adventure, even from like being a kid, you know, reading the famous 5 books and all that kind of stuff. We go out making dens, or you go on long walks and stuff, you know, a bit like the film Stand By Me. You just go on an adventure. Didn't find any dead bodies like that. And I've always had that inside me. And when I actually got into the camping, you know, it gave me excitement. It gave me goosebumps. But it took away stress. It took away anxiety and, you know, all the troubles of the world, you could forget about them while you're up on the hill staring at the views. But the why is as well now, I love sharing that with you lot. Yeah, the amount of comments, messages, I think I've read some out there that said that what we do is inspiring, and there's people that have never done anything like this before, have seen a video, got off their arse and gone and hiked a hill or hiked a mountain. And I'm not claiming responsibility for all that, but you've only got to put a little seed in someone's head. They've still got to get out and hike the hike. But if you can just give someone a little nudge to get out and enjoy the outdoors, gives you such a buzz. Dave Outdoors. Paul, I have a question for you. Why are you like the coolest bloke on YouTube? My second question is, van life or mountain camping, which is preferred? They're two very different things. I love the mountain camping, but I love getting away in the van. That's mine and Joe's thing, and the dogs. Dogs, yeah. But if I only had to choose the one, God, I'm not going to choose. I'm not going to choose. I need both of them in my life, and I've got both of them, so I'm very fortunate. And as for being the coolest bloke on YouTube, I'm about 100 degrees, mate. There's nothing cool about me, especially today. A couple more. Dan Shard has asked over on Instagram, have you ever been asked to move on when camping? If so, what did you say? I've never actually been asked to move on. I've had a couple of people that have said, you're not really supposed to be camping here, are you? But I've explained that I'm not doing any harm. I always leave no trace, and the people have gone away, yeah, happy with my explanation. But if someone did ask me to leave, then I would obviously try and be reasonable with them and explain that I'm not doing any harm, that I'm not going to be leaving any mess whatsoever. I'll be gone first thing in the morning, because it's not always safe. If you're asked to leave and it's dark and you're up on an edge or a mountain or something like that, then getting down there in the dark is more dangerous. It's much safer to just see the night out. Don't be a dick to whoever's asked you to leave. Be polite and be courteous. If you pick a suitable spot well out of the way, you shouldn't ever get in that situation, really. No one should find you. So it's when you are pitching in popular locations that are patrolled, or you're close to a farmhouse or something like that, that you may get asked to move. So Scott, the lone explorer, he asks, why is water wet? I think that's a trick question. So technically, water isn't wet, I believe. It makes things wet. So when it sticks to a surface, that surface then becomes wet. I'm not going into the science, but we'll leave that for Scott to explain. Right, last one, I think. Roaster 91 has asked, if you could only camp in any one place in the UK, where would you pick? Ooh, tough question. Would that mean the exact same spot every time? Or would it mean an area? So like Buttermere, there's loads of different places you can pitch around there, and you're going to get epic views wherever you go. I love it up there. However, if I could only choose one place, it'd be somewhere in the Peak District, because it's like home. It's like my back garden. Plenty of spots up Kinder Scout. Kinder Scout is one big plateau, so in theory that should count as one place. So I'd probably choose Kinder Scout. However, there are lots of other beautiful places you could pitch up. Tough question. Derwent Edge, that's beautiful as well. Loads of spots up there. So if there's only one particular place, I'd say Kinder Scout. Anyway, time for me to get off, get this packed up, because I'm going camping tonight. Thanks for all your questions. Sorry if I missed you. I will try and answer them in some other form. That's it for this one. I'll see you next time.